So, the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard, who was ruled out earlier today in this game 3 against the Suns, and unfortunately it's the story of, well, this whole Kawhi PGE era for the Clippers. And it's success. Norman Powell knocks down the free ball, and of course, despite the undermanned Clippers with no Kawhi, no Paul George, they were in this game for a bit at least, and Devin Booker was against it as he wanted a calm game win at all cost and win as easy as possible. And the Clippers were truly trying their best to hold on, and they truly did, man. Norman Powell turned into a god off the bench. Off the bench. He was starting, right? But coming off the bench normally, he turned into god starting in place of Kawhi Leonard, and he was spectacular, trying to win this game for the Clippers. Here's Devin Booker on another tough shot from him, as he has been the best player for the Suns in this series, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, really. And here's Russ. He finally got going in this third quarter for the Clippers, as here's Kawhi on the bench. Unfortunately, we don't know his status for Game 4. We'll talk about it a little more after the highlights, as Book knocks down another one, and he just didn't want this to be a close game, man. Devin Booker just wanted to go, have fun in LA and be up to 1, and he was cooking everyone, man. It was unstoppable, and he has been just spectacular throughout. Whenever healthy this season, he has been just special. And here's Torrey Craig making the biggest shot of the night, as he has been shooting lights out. Jesus Shuttlesworth, like, from the corner in this series so far. And here's Norman Powell on the end, 1 3-pointer. And it's still a 6-point game and a 5-point game after he makes the free throw here. And Chris Paul missed both free throws. And here's a great look. And it just can't drop in, man. The Clippers were so close to making it a 2-point game and actually having a chance here, but it just dropped out, man. But to say the least, I have not been impressed with the Suns, man. They just, Devin Booker has been spectacular. He's been hooping. He has been freaking awesome. KD has been underwhelming, to say the least, I think. Of course, he's getting the most attention probably, so Devin Booker has more chance to go off, of course, more of a chance to go off, but it truly feels like they don't run enough plays for KD. They just let him stand in the corner and watch around, which is an odd strategy, but to be fair, KD has gotten kinda used to being the second guy, so and I'm just messing with you all, but I don't know, man. It just doesn't look right to me. DeAndre Ayton, I talked about it, him being a liability in the playoffs, because he just, some guys just aren't that tough, and some guys are, man. Maybe he can still develop it, but as of right now, he is just, I don't know, man. He just doesn't dominate physically enough. He's just not imposing enough. He just doesn't put his foot down enough, man. It's weird with DeAndre Ayton. I'm rooting for you, my guy. I hope you can find a way to be more assertive and aggressive, but it has just not been there at all, man. And Chris Paul shot 5 of 18. He was absolutely horrific, man. The bench was really bad. It just, I don't know, man. I mean, shout out Bismack Biyombo. But I do know what I think, and I think the Suns just do not look like an actual championship team to me, man. They have to play their main guys in round 1 series, and in a game where the opposing team has none of their 2 stars, and you have to play all your 3 main guys, if you count Ayton, then of course not all 4, but the 3 main guys in a way, over 40 minutes. And it just feels like it's gonna catch up with them at some point, no matter what. And we don't know if Kawhi is gonna play in this series, so maybe they'll get from this series, in 5, and hey, they'll be fine. But it has not been impressive, besides Devin Booker, to be quite honest with you all, right? And tonight they got bailed out a lot by free throws, man, because they were getting a lot of favorable foul calls tonight, and they shot 46 free throws to the Clippers 25. That's a 20 free throw advantage, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. And of course, the Clippers did have more turnovers and shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, but a lot of those foul calls and a lot of those free throws were iffy to say the least, but we can't focus on that right now. If they do get those calls all playoffs, then sure, shoot 46 free throws a game, right? They were getting bailed out a lot, man, and it's spooky for them in my opinion. And I am even more happy that I picked the Nuggets to beat them in the next round. So the Clippers, on the other hand, hey man, they give it their all. Bones Highland had a shot to make it a 2-point game. He couldn't knock it down. He was really solid. Otherwise, 20 points for him. Russ with 38 and 12. Had a rough first half, I would say, but was pretty great in the second half. Norman Powell had 42 points. He was absolutely spectacular, man. I thought they should have played Zubac a little bit more, in my honest opinion, because the rebounding was missing, I think. I'm pretty sure. Okay, that sounds weird, but it really felt like they needed somebody who could rebound and was of size late in this game, because they gave up a lot of offensive rebounds in that fourth quarter, it felt like. And yeah, they gave up 15 offensive rebounds overall, which is not great, ideal, right? And you have Ivica Zubac just sitting there. Nikola Batum has been horrific, man. He has been really bad this playoffs on his Skip Bayless type performances, man. And I like Terrence Mann, of course, but the Clippers do have a chance to win a game for sure without Kawhi and PG, because they will fight, but it just sucks, man. With Kawhi, it felt like they could win this series. Paul George on the horizon, maybe he could still come back in this series. In the end, it's bleak a lot for the Clippers. Hopefully, we can get some positive news about Kawhi and his knee, but it just doesn't seem likely that he'll play in Game 4, right? And that just fucking sucks.